Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Maddie. I run EdTech Classroom, the blog, podcast, and of course, YouTube channel. Today is the third day of Vlogmas. Now, if you aren't familiar with Vlogmas, it's something that lots of YouTubers do, where we post a new video every single day in December up until Christmas. So like I said, today is the third day of Vlogmas, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing how to create winter-themed agenda slides. So without further ado, let's get started. So I just opened up a blank Google Slides file, and we're going to get started on creating our winter agenda slides. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete these two text boxes here. When I create agenda slides, I like to have the date in really big letters at the very top of the slide. So I'm going to go up here to the Shape tool, and I'm going to grab a rectangle, and I'm going to make this rectangle go all the way across. And I think that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to turn this into a text box by double clicking, and I'm going to type in the potential date. So I might say something like December 3rd, 2021. Now I'm going to want to make this font a lot bigger, and I'm also going to want to change the font. So I'll just highlight it, and I'm going to go up here to the top, and I'm going to scroll down, and I really like this Luckiest Guy font, so I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to make it really big. Let's say we're going to go size 60. And so now you'll see I've added the date to the very top of this slide within this rectangle. Now I want to make some changes to mix up the colors here and add a little bit of customization. So first I'm going to change the color of the rectangle. So I'll go up to this fill color tool, and I will choose a color that I like. I think I'm going to choose a dark blue for this. Now you'll notice that when I change this rectangle to be dark blue, it makes it so it's a little bit difficult to see the font. So the next thing I'll change is I'll highlight the font, and I am going to go up here to the text color tool, and I'm going to change the text color to be white. Now it's a lot easier to see, and I think it looks pretty good. Now you might also notice, if you look really closely, this rectangle does have a thin border around it. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that by going up here to the border color tool. I'll click, and I'm just going to press transparent to get rid of that border color. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to change the slide background. So to change the background, I'll go up here to where it says background. I'll change the color, and I'm going to choose a lighter blue this time. I think I'm going to go with this light blue option here, and I think that looks pretty good. So now what I've done so far is I've added that big rectangle at the top, I've added the date, and I've also changed the slide background. When I create agenda slides, I always like to have the schedule on the left-hand side and the announcements on the right. That's something that I found has worked well for me, but I know lots of teachers have different preferences. So for this video, I'm going to have the schedule on the left and announcements on the right. So the next thing I'll do is I will go back up here to the shape tool again, and I will grab another shape. And this time, I think I'm going to do this curvy rectangle. So I'll click on rounded rectangle, and I'll create the shape just by clicking and dragging. I can kind of like resize it a little bit. And I think that looks pretty good. So now I've created one on the left, and in a minute I'm going to copy it and I'll put another one on the right hand side. But first I want to make a few changes. So I'll click on the shape that I just created. I'll go back up to this fill color tool, and I'm going to change it to be white. It looks like it was a gray color before. And then I also want to change the border color. So I'll go here to the border color tool, and I'm going to choose that same shade of dark blue that I chose for the rectangle at the top. I'll click on it, and now this line is still really thin. I want to change the border weight so it's a little bit easier to see, meaning I'll change the thickness of that line. So to do that, I'll go next to the border color tool, and I'll click on the border weight option, and I'm going to change that to be 8 pixels. I like to change it to be 8 pixels because it feels like a thick line that's going to be easy to see when you project these slides on the board for your students. So now that I think this curvy rectangle looks pretty good, I'm just going to go ahead and copy it and paste it and add it over to the left-hand side now. So I just added it, and it looks like these two are even. The way that you can double check that shapes are in line with each other in Google Slides is you'll see if I just move this around, a red line will appear, and that lets me know that it's centered with the other curvy rectangle. Now if I want to center align it on the slide, so that they're equidistant the other way, I can highlight both of these shapes. The way I did that is I just clicked on one, then on my keyboard I held down Shift and I clicked on the other, and now I've highlighted both of the shapes, and I can click and drag so that the red vertical line appears so that it's centered, and I'll release, and now you'll see these two curvy rectangles are centered to each other. Now I find that this gap in the middle is a little bit too big, so I'm just gonna use my judgment here to kind of make them a little bit closer together. And then again, I can realign them the same way I did before. And all right, I think that looks pretty good. So the next thing I'll want to do is I'll want to add in that schedule on the left and the announcements on the right. So to add in the schedule, just like how we edited the rectangle to include text, I'll just double click on one of these shapes, and I'm going to change the font. I'm going to go with this Luckiest Guy font again. And I'm going to make the font pretty big. Let's say I'm going to do size 30, and I'll type in schedule. And I want to put this so that the text is at the very top. So to change the alignment, I'll go up here to this align tool. I'll click on it, and then I'm going to now click on this option here to make the text go to the top. Right now it's in the middle, so I want to move it to the top. So if I click on top, now you'll see the text is at the very top. Now I'll do the same thing to the other side. I'll type in announcements, and I will change the font. I'll pick Luckiest Guy, size 30, and then I'm going to move this all the way up to the top. And so now you'll see I have a section for the schedule and the section for the announcements. So now as the teacher, you could just type in the schedule on the left-hand side. You could just keep adding on there, and on the right-hand side, you could add announcements. Now the last thing that I want to add here is I like to add a winter Bitmoji to agenda slides. I think it just makes it a little more fun, a little bit more winter themed. So I have the Bitmoji Chrome extension. If you don't have this extension, I'm going to have a link in the video description down below for you guys to check out so that you can actually download that extension to have in your Google Chrome. But I'll go up here to my extensions, I'll click and I'll select Bitmoji. And now as it loads, you'll see that at the top there is this search Bitmoji choice. So I'm going to type in winter and see what appears. So there are lots of winter themed options. It looks like we have some holiday choices, lots and lots of choices for winter. Wow. So I'm going to go ahead and choose one of these snow themes just because I kind of like these. I think I'm going to go with this snow globe. Now there's a couple ways you can add these Bitmojis. I'm just going to drag and drop, and you'll see that it uploads directly to my Google slide. Now I can go ahead and just resize this, and I can find a nice location for it. I think I'm going to add mine up here. And all right, that looks pretty good. So that was a really quick and simple way for you to create winter themed agenda slides, add your Bitmoji all in Google Slides. If you like the slides that we created together in today's video and you want to grab your own copy for free, I will have this file linked in the video description down below for you to grab your own copy. Thank you so much for watching today's video all about how to create winter themed agenda slides. If you liked this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I post weekly tech tutorials for teachers, and during Vlogmas, I'm posting a new video every single day. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye, friends.